Given po na although may pumapasok na pera para ma-rehabilitate at ma-modernize ang ating armed forces, kung meron po kayong choice, yung ating external threat, katulad nung sa mga Spratlys, etc., at yung internal threat natin, at isa lang po ang maaari yung pagbuhusan ng resources ninyo.
Dahil limitado nga po.
Oo, kasi limitado. Ano po ang una niyong ipaprioritize?
Wala tayong choice dyan, number one, because the emerging security landscape dictates what we should do. But like, as earlier said ng ating Defense Secretary, we are not creating a defense posture addressed against any one nation. What we are aspiring for is the capability to be able to do our constitutional mandate. Maliwanag po sa amin yan, protect the people, secure the territory, and uphold the state sovereignty. And we want to have that capability, a capability that any self-respecting nation should have.
Okay. Sir, ang atin pong itong mga internal strife brought to us by itong mga insurgents, whether they're communist insurgents or Muslim separatist groups, ang kanilang suporta galing sa komunidad. And I'm sure yung AFP knows na kailangan buwagin yung community support through efforts to intervene into those communities para din mas lumapit sila sa gobyerno. You think this government is in a good position to win the peace, especially dito sa ating mga komunidad na sumusuporta dito sa mga separatist groups?
Government is not in a good position. It's in a very, very good position at this time. We are so optimistic kasi nakikita natin yung support. They're coming in. Yung acceptance ng armed forces, it's a complete turnaround. Noong February, sinasabi we're the most corrupt agency. Wala na kaming naririnig niyan ngayon. Napakaganda ng inroads natin, yung way aheads natin. Pag pumupunta si General Oban from areas where na ini-inspection natin, nakikita natin yung acceptance. Yung local government units, yung turnover ng dati, now we're preparing about 18 provinces for turnover. We want to declare them insurgency-free. We're so happy.
So yung recent pangyayari, which I think was last Friday, di ba? Yung nag-retire na, was he a colonel? Yung retired Colonel Mariano?
Yes.
He was just a temporary fly in the ointment. Hindi kayo nabagabag. It's not, hindi dapat mabagabag ang ating mga taong bayan na ito ay isang signus, di ba? Ng mas malaking rumbling sa military. Hindi po kaya.
We're very interested why Colonel Mariano did that. Kasi unang-una, kaibigan din namin si Colonel Mariano eh. And then we're trying to find out, sino bang may sentiments na ganun? Wala eh. At tapos magre-retire na siya, ginawa pa niya. Ano bang nangyari? There are so many speculations. Kung 10 tao ang tatanungin mo ko, paano niya ginawa at bakit, 10 different answers din ang matatanggap mo. So the investigation is going on.
So malaking misteryo talaga.
Malaking misteryo yan. Kasi at this time, there is no reason for any member of the armed forces. May bahay ka na 200 pesos a month. Saan ka kukuha nun? Meron kang weapons na upgraded and meron kang support sa iyong Pangulo. What more can you ask
Correct.
for?
But he's saying, sir, that it's an academic statement, mukhang academic discussion, mentioned in academic forum. Sana nga ganun. But of course, yung legal...
Wala daw siyang
seditious
purpose. Na mag-incite, di ba?
Okay, pero nga dahil academic, pero importante din po, hindi lang po military component, lalo na po ating pagharap sa ating mga external threats. There is the statesmanship side of it. There's the international relations side of it. Kaya importante kausapin natin ang ating mga foreign affairs representative. And we are privileged to have with us. Let's welcome him again and greet him. Good morning, Yuse Conejos. Sir.
Okay, magandang umaga Mark, magandang umaga Gabi, magandang umaga rin sa ating mga kababayan, mga nanonood.
Sir, ang ating foreign affairs, ang ating relasyon with other countries, medyo challenging yung ating simula ng ating taon. Kumusta po ang DFA? Kumusta po ang ating foreign policy? Kumusta po ang ating pakikitungo sa the rest of the world?
Okay, siguro Mark, yung target ng question mo is China. So, kami sa DFA, diretso kami sa punto. Let me start by saying that China is a close friend and neighbor of the Philippines. China is the third largest trading partner of the country. And investments are increasing between these two countries. Our relationship with China is so extensive that in the last 36 years, since the establishment of diplomatic relations between the Philippines and China, we have engaged China in almost all areas of relationship between countries. We have cooperation agreements with China on agriculture, on science and technology, on education, on people-to-people exchange. Ang dami niyan. All right? Now, having said that, tatanungin natin, Yusek, ano nangyari dito sa
Opo.
sa West Philippine Sea o South China Sea? All right. Ang tingin ng DFA dyan ganito, we look at this as challenges, as opportunities, not really as threats. Alam mo, maski sa magkaibigan, merong konting alitan yan. In our families, I ask our people here, meron kung saan nag-aaway yung magkapatid. Kasama yan sa relationship. If that happens among friends and families, it also happens among nations. But what is important? The most important thing is that both parties are committed to a peaceful resolution of the issues.
Sana nga
On
po.
the other hand, sabi natin yan, that whatever is happening now in this West Philippine Sea, it should not affect our robust bilateral relations with China. Our relationship with China will continue to strengthen, it will continue to broaden, and it will continue to deepen to the mutual interest of our people and the people of China.
So realistic po na assessment yon na talagang you can choose to maintain healthy relationships kahit na merong mga reports na iraram nila yung isang patrol boat natin, yung mga ganyan.
Family dispute, pero kailangan natin bumili ng battleship para tayo protektahan. Yes,
But is it
Yusek.
really a feasible option na daanin na lamang sa diplomasya at bilateral negotiation?
Yes, Gabi, there is the alternative here. In our present modern age, war or even the contemplation of war is completely anathema. We are a peace-loving country. We will protect the interest of the Philippines through peaceful means. We have the means under international law and the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea as our weapon in advancing our national interest. War is not an option. Peace will always be there. And your DFA will be upfront in ensuring that we push forward the agenda for peaceful negotiations in this aspect.
Yusek, we understand how difficult the challenge is to balance yung ating interest versus maintaining good relations, trading relations. Halimbawa, Attorney Gabi, yung Hong Kong, kailangan natin suyuin. They host a lot of our Filipino workers. Taiwan na rin po. Middle East na rin po. Pati na rin po ang Amerika. Ano po ang parang tema ng ating foreign policy, Yusek? Dahil, yun nga po, meron tayong relasyon, trading relations on an arm's length relationship. Pero meron din po tayong mga kababayan doon na nagsisilbi sa kanila na dapat tayong makisuyo para hindi nila apihin at para alagaan ng mabuti.
That's a good point, Mark. Actually, the mandate of the DFA is threefold. Okay? Number one, of course, primordial ito, protecting the national sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Philippines. Non-negotiable yan. Gagawin natin ang lahat para we are going to uphold that first primary mandate of the DFA. The second, of course, is economic diplomacy. We would like to advance the economic interest of our country in the international community. And finally, yung protecting and upholding the interest and the rights of our Filipinos abroad. Ito yung tinatawag namin sa DFA ay the three pillars of Philippine foreign policy. Okay. Mark, nabanggit mo yung OFWs, no? Alam mo, doon sa inaugural speech ni President Aquino, the only time that the DFA and DOLE and POEA was mentioned was when the President said that it is the policy of this government to create local jobs so that our people will remain in this country and foreign deployment will only be an option to them, not a survival strategy. And then he said, in the meantime, I am tasking DFA, DOLE, and POEA to ensure that you strengthen some more the capability to protect our OFWs. Focus si Presidente Dan. All right, anong ginagawa ng DFA to comply with that presidential mandate? Let me cite 4 examples. Number 1, Siguro, alam po ninyo, galing ako sa Libya at the height of the Libyan crisis. Iniwan ako doon ni Secretary Del Rosario for 10 days.
Hindi naman po masama ang loob nyo.
Hindi, okay yan.
Hindi masyado. Hindi naman
Maganda nga.
masyado.
I'll tell you after this kung bakit maganda. Anyway, so doon sa crisis response ating mga OFWs, when we had because of the Arab Spring, we had uprisings in Tunisia, in Egypt, and then doon sa Egypt, we were able to repatriate about 90 of our OFWs. In Libya, we had about close to 17 to 18,000 people. In the span of 15 days, we were able to repatriate safely back to the country almost about 14,000 OFWs through combined air, naval, and sea operations. Alam mo ba na yung ating mga kababayan nga nagtatanong sa Pilipinas, paano nyo ginawa yan? Naiwan kami rito. Ang Pilipinas out na. Ngunit, ang sabi ng Pangulo, okay na yung ginawa ninyo, pero gusto ko pa rin you strengthen some more the capability of our embassies abroad to ano. Kaya, kinikreate ni Pangulo, Noy, yung Overseas Preparedness and Response Team. This is headed now by the Executive Secretary. Ang sabi ni Presidente, 2 bagay lang, sabi niya. Alright, yung operations niyo sa Libya, nagkandara pa kayo, naghahanap kayo ng augmentation team. Kasi ang dami kasi niyan. So we had to send people to Libya to help in the evacuation of our nationals. So sabi ni Presidente, from now on, I want that anytime there is a crisis in any part of the world, in 24 hours notice, we can deploy a rapid deployment team. That has been done. We have been working with the DND and the PNP. We have operationalized this concept.
Yusek, I just would like to invite our ating spokesperson to chime in dahil Attorney Gabby, napansin nyo yung during the crisis in the Middle East, ang Amerika padala kaagad ng malaking barko. Itong mga ibang bansa padala agad ng ibang barko. Ang tanong na marami, may barko ba tayong makakarating sa Middle East? How are we preparing ourselves as far as equipment, Commodore? Para
Madating na.
Oo, na ba? Kaya ba yun? O pang-combat lang doon ng mga barko ng mga Abu Sayyaf?
Tama si Attorney Gabby, padating na.
Okay, okay.
In
Literally,
3 weeks'
di ba?
time. Pero actually, yung equipment natin, pag sinasabi natin, halimbawa, combat utility, it serves a multiple set of purpose. Kasi we're also looking at the armed forces being there in the forefront for humanitarian assistance, for disaster relief. Yung mga sigalot na nangyayari sa labas ng ating bansa, again, protect the people. Kadikit kami ng Department of Foreign Affairs. Yung mga contingency plans na yan, yung mga sinasabi na preparedness and rescue teams, nandyan lahat. We're acting as one. Itong sinasabi ng IPSP Bayanihan, isa lang ang pamahalaan natin, isa lang ang leadership natin. We should be accountable to the people as one.
Okay.
And na-achieve natin.
Napakaganda. Yes, Yusek.
Let me comment on that. Tama yung sinabi ni Commodore. No? We've been working closely on this and we welcome this information that the AFP would have naval assets to be used for evacuation purposes. On the other hand, we have to be realistic. In the Middle East, it takes a long time.
Yes.
Unless you preposition the ships in the Middle East, it might take time. In a crisis mode, the essence of crisis is quick response. Within 24 hours, you have to bring our people back. Otherwise, yung ating mga kababayan dito ay nag-ano. Kaya, open kami sa lahat ng possibilities. In Libya, for example, as I said, combined land, air, and sea operation. We undertook two seaborne operations between Tripoli and Malta and Tripoli and Benghazi. All cost to the government. In Libya, we chartered a total of about 15 chartered flights. The first 10 between Tunisia and Dubai, and then we put them on commercial flights back to the Philippines, and then the other commercial flights by 747s from the Philippines direct to Malta and even to Rome to pick them up. And of course, our land operation was the continuous movement of our nationals from Tripoli down to Tunisia and from Benghazi all the way down east to Egypt.
Napakaganda.
Combined yan.
Yusek, pero meron po tayong isang malaki pang concern, yung ating human trafficking. Pero hindi po ako magtatanong. Alam ko po, ito po yung concern. Hayaan ko po yung ating kababayan from Zamboanga to throw in the question and lead the discussion deeper into bigger issues. Let us welcome from TV11 reporter, Board of Directors Zamboanga Press Club, Kyo Diver Arquiza. Magandang umaga.
Yes, magandang umaga sa iyo, Mark, at kay Attorney Gabby. right here in Zamboanga City, Zamboanga Peninsula posted the highest conviction on human trafficking since 2006. And since last year, there were many rescue operations made, meaning somehow we are gaining grounds in our fight against human trafficking. But the fact remains that while there's rescue operation, there's still illegal recruiters out there. The question is, what are the authorities right there from the line or from the origin of the victims is doing to stop human trafficking? And as a last line of defense, is there enough support from the national government given to Zamboanga and other nearby provinces in this campaign?
Yusek, please answer.
Juber, thank you very much for your question. And I think tama yung premise ni Juber, ano? Na, do you know that this year, yung ating rating doon sa trafficking in persons was elevated from Tier 2 watch list to Tier 2. Ha? So nag-improve yung rating ng Pilipinas dito because, as Juber said, yung ating because of our convictions. No. Now, Juber, what is our strategy to address human trafficking? To be effective, an anti-human trafficking strategy must be multi-pronged, which contains the elements of prevention, protection, and prosecution. Okay? Yung binanggit mo, Jubel, is about prevention. Yusek, how can we prevent this? All right. There is an Interagency Council on Human Trafficking. This is headed by the Secretary of Justice. And we have 3 programs on the prevention side. The first program is awareness. Alam mo, we have to campaign, and we need your help here, Juber, so that we can disseminate to our people the dangers, the pitfalls of human trafficking. So, awareness campaign yan. We intend to bring down the awareness campaign from the national to regional, all the way down to the barangay level. And tama po kayo, the involvement of the local governments is critical for the success of this program. Second prevention measure. Doon sa ating mga airports, kung saan lalabas yung ating mga kababayan, and also major seaports like in Zamboanga where you are, we have what we call one-stop processing centers. We have multi-agency task force to look at the documents of our people, to scrutinize them intensely to ensure that they're not victims of human trafficking. We will not allow suspicious characters or any applicants to get out of the country unless we are sure that they are not victims. Okay. And of course, yung ating other measures, like for example, yung assistance that we provide later, no? And of course, prosecution, effective prosecution will be a deterrent. Now, the final point here on prevention is this, yung campaign natin against illegal recruitment. All right, why do I say that? Kasi human trafficking, the flip side to that is illegal recruitment. Kasi ang human trafficking mostly for prostitution, illegal trafficking for forced labor. Okay? Now, we have a very intensified campaign against illegal recruitment, and this is headed by no less than the Vice President. So these are the 3 programs that government has to prevent our Filipinos from being victimized and be subjected to human trafficking.
Nagpapasalamat po tayo sa ating kasama from Zamboanga, Mr. Arquiza, who is a reporter and an active member of the Zamboanga City Press Club. Sa pagbabalik po, gusto kong iwanan, Attorney Gabby, sa human trafficking daw, ang ginagawa ng iba, namimeke ng passport. Paano po napipeke itong passport? Paano po sinisuguro ng DFA na hindi na mapipeke itong passport? Sasagutin na ni Yusek, pati na rin some questions from our other remote site sa pagbabalik po ng Pilipinas natin.
Sa ng DFA ang ating administrasyon na nagtutulak para sa pagtataguyod ng isang rules-based international system para sa mas payapa, patas at kapaki-pakinabang na dialogo tungo sa pangkahalatang kasunduan. Bawat kilos ng DFA at ng buong pamahalaan ukol sa usapang ito ay nakatuon upang ang kapakanan at soberenya ng Pilipinas maging ng ibang mga bansa sa rehiyon ay hindi lamang napoprotektahan kundi higit sa lahat, iginagalang.
Security, Justice, and Peace Cluster. Kasama ko, Attorney Gabby. We're still joined by Yusek Conejos and Commodore Miguel. Rodriguez. Sir, iniwan po natin question, Attorney Gabby.
Pamimeke ng passport.
Pamimeke ng passport. Dahil kung napipeke yung ating passport, edi madali. With a very porous border na madaling umalis. Pwede kang umalis via
At saka,
south.
Mas lalo daw ngayon sa panahon ng budget fare, ng merong mga ferries, all these forms of transportation, napakadali na magpalipat-lipat
Correct.
ng mga
Lumabas.
traffic ng mga tao.
Yusek.
Yeah. Okay, Gabi, tama kayo. Gabi, tama kayo, Mark, tungkol sa passport. In fact, dahil nga yung dating passport natin manual lang, madali talaga ipeke yun. Kaya yun din naging incident for a lot of illegal trafficking, even human trafficking. All right, what have we done over the years? From the manual passport, about 2 years ago, we went to what we call the MRP, the MRP passport natin na medyo computerized na yon. Pero we did not even stop there. Ang ngayon, we are issuing now what we call the e-passport, the electronic passport. Alam mo, itong e-passport natin, ito na ang pinakamataas na kalidad ng passport na pwedeng i-issue na isang bansa under the International Civil Aviation Organization. So we are one of the few countries in the world that have actually adopted the e-passport system. Okay, itong e-passport, top of the line na yan, ito talaga ang pinakamataas na uri ng passport natin. Kasi kukunan yung, tawag natin mga biometrics, okay, yung retinal scan ng ating mata. Meron tayong thumb mark doon, no? So these are it's difficult to fake, for example, a retinal scan or a kwan. So these are the added safety features, okay? So, kaya kung minsan, nagsasabi natin mga kababayan, Yusek, ang tagal naman ng issuance ng passport. Dahil nga, this is a new system that we are putting in place. We are still getting the machines, but I was just told that yung ating lead time ngayon is from the time all the documents are submitted, we can issue the passport, electronic, the highest form of passport possible in 10 days' time. For
Actually,
express.
I was about to
Yes.
interrupt and say that I just need to say this, na nung kumuha ako ng passport ko, I was impressed dun sa sistema, napakaayos ng sistema, napakabilis. Hindi katulad nung dati na talagang iinit muna ang ulo mo bago ka makakuha
Pero
ng
Attorney
passport.
Gabby, ang tanong ko dyan, hindi ba po pwede para sa mga VIP lamang? Yung mga common Filipino, do they avail of the
Uy,
same
nakipila ako,
efficient system?
nakipila ako.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay. Mark, tama kayo, lahat tayo equal. Ngunit, sa mga senior citizens, meron kami express lane sa kanila.
Hindi ako yun.
Sa mga OFWs, meron tayong express lane sa kanila. I mean, titingnan din natin yan. But we will try to accommodate as many as possible
Pero
in a
yung sa
short
common
time as
tao
possible.
na pumila,
Yun.
maayos, maaliwalas, malamig, di ba?
Talaga? Common tao, pumila, ha?
Oo.
World class
Okay.
na ba talaga?
World class na.
World class
World class
At the
po.
facility
Okay.
is...
Sasabihin ko
I
po yan.
really need to say it kasi alam mo naman sa bansa natin, and I'm
Yes,
sure
yes.
in the other things you do in the DFA, I'm sure ang daming criticism palagi, di ba?
Correct.
It is never, whatever you do is never enough, di ba? Kahit po yung sinasabi nyo, yung mga preparedness and response activities, habang I'm sure halos namamatay-matay kayo habang ino-oversee nyo yung lahat ng yan. For the rest of the people, sometimes it is never enough.
Yeah.
But in terms of getting your passport, I must say, iba talaga, world-class ang
Galing.
service. Kahit na common tao ka, pumila ko,
Galing.
hindi ka nawawala kasi they guide everybody. It's cool, it's comfortable, and you are always informed kung gaano katagal pa. Kahit na mahaba ang pila, you
Yeah.
are always informed every step of the way.
The thing is now lang, kailangan mong i-comply yung proseso. Kailangan mong sundin
Correct.
yung proseso. Very quick question lang kay Commodore Miguel. Yung ating trafficking daw, sir, alam naman po natin kung saan itong exit points. Pero in many cases daw, like in Zamboanga, Tawi-Tawi, Basilan, ang nagdadala nito papuntang Malaysia, papuntang mga compete lang, pero yung mga makina, twin-engine Volvo, napakabibilis daw nitong mga barko na ito. How are we manning these exit points, sir? At na-identify po ba natin ito para hindi po makalusot?
You know, human trafficking is